Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today we're going to do 3 looks, 1 palette using the new Natasha Denona Roxa palette. I have a original in-depth review of this, or like a review, sorry, with in-depth swatches of this palette, and in that video you guys very much said you wanted to see 3 looks with it, so that is what we are here to do. Hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTubey things like subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. You guys are zoomed in nice and close, 4K, no filters, and everything I use on my faces or like in my looks today will be linked in the description box down below for you guys. It will say, sorry, look 1 link, look 2 link, look 3 link, just because I can't fit all of the products in with the description word limit thing. So we are going to do look 1, and for look 1 I'm just going to use this palette on its own, but for looks 2 and 3 I am going to incorporate other palettes into the looks and like kind of show you guys how I would use this palette on the everyday for like myself and my own preferences, because when I did that review a lot of you guys did request to see how I would use this palette with other palettes or other colors and that kind of a thing. So that is what we're going to do, but today we will just use this palette. I am going to take my Sigma eye primer to begin with though. The first eyeshadow we're going to dip into is this one right here, which is Phoebe. This is just a Lethal Cosmetics fluffy blending brush. This is my favorite matte in the palette, and I'm just going to softly fluff this through the crease. And in my review I was telling you guys how Jacaranda was like really dry and really patchy, and I didn't know if it was just like my palette, and a couple of you guys said you had this same experience with Jacaranda, and then quite a few of you said that you didn't. So I wonder if there's just like a batch of palettes out there that didn't have the best formulation of Jacaranda maybe. I really like this color as a transition shade. It's very pretty. Now I'm going to take this BK-N13 and I'm going to go into Heather, which is this kind of like pinky brown, if you will, terracotta maybe. And I'm going to softly wiggle that into the crease as well. I think from the reviews you guys are quite mixed on this palette as well. It seems to be either something you really like and want, or just not wanting a bar of it, which I think is fair. It's like probably like that with most things, to be fair. I'm just tucking this in the outer corner as well here. And then I'm just taking that Lethal Cosmetics brush with Phoebe again, and I'll just softly do that. And then we'll do the other eye. This is kind of, this shade is pretty, but it's a bit too red leaning for my like everyday kind of preference. I would like this to have been more of a brown, and actually that was a comments theme in your guys' comments as well about the palette, is instead of these like pinky colors to have more of like browny colors, and I agree, or like taupey colors. This is just that Lethal Cosmetics with Phoebe again. I think that would have been a lot nicer, and also I think a little bit different. I think a lot of the times when people do purple palettes, I mean I'm speaking kind of just personal opinion here, they do include a lot of pinks just because those two colors do go together, but I think it would have been cool to see a little bit of browns in here, but that's just my opinion. I'm just going to take my Pat McGrath Labs Intensify stick and I'm going to pop it on 3/4 of both lids. In my review I did like 1 lid with and without. You don't need this, but if you've been around here, you know I love it, especially for my hooded eyes. I'm just going to pick up this Bisciotto flat brush and I want to go into Regal right here because this one looks quite pretty. It's like a smoky pinky purple. And I'm going to pop that everywhere I put the intensifiers. Oh yeah, that's nice and pretty and subtle. Definitely more pink leaning actually. Oh yeah, I think more pinky leaning, cool tone pink leaning than like purple. It's got like a subtle purple to it. It is pretty though. Just kind of like a flat metallic, nothing like too sparkly or intense, but that's not a bad thing. It's nice to have diversity in the palette. It's kind of like a nice soft everyday shade. Would also look nice as a one and done. This metallic, just all over the lid. Because I can't help myself, I'm also going to take a little bit of flutter right here, just with the same brush. And this one has a little sparkle, so I'm just going to add this over the top of it because I like a little sparkle. That's like a subtle sparkle. I don't even know if that'll pick up on camera, but that's actually quite pretty. It's like a fairy dusting. But this one too looks a little bit more pinky lean. It could be the matte that I'm using it with though. That is pretty though. I don't mind it. Now I'm picking up this What's Up R102 and I'm just going to take a little bit of Eclipse here. Just a little bit. And I'm just going to tap this out here just a touch. Not a lot. Actually, I really like that. That looks pretty. While we're here, I am going to take Bobbi Brown Fog for my top waterline eyeliner. I feel like that was very quick and fuss-free and easy, and I really like how that has turned out so far. So I'm going to do the speed through of my base makeup now, and then we will come back and do lower lash line, highlighter, blush, and lips together. So let's go ahead and do it. We have up until brows and bronzer on. Let's finish these eyes. So I'm going to take a Rephr 13 mini and I'm going to mix this Phoebe with this one Heather. I'm just going to mix the two shades together and then I'm just going to run them underneath here. Also, as this is up, Rephr is also having their like annual big Black Friday sale, but it runs for all of November and they've got some really good sales going and prices going on their brushes if you are interested. A little pencil brush and I'm just going to go into a really small amount of Eclipse. For my lower waterline, I'm actually going to take Contour Clair from Chanel. And just a little bit of my Gucci mascara. For highlighter, I'm going to take Lisa Eldridge Pink Moon for my liquid highlight. And I just pick it up on my sponge here. Still testing this Patrick Tar liquid foundation. I'm really not sure on my thoughts yet still. But I do love that highlight. And I will set that highlight with just a little touch of the Tom Ford Pink Soleil highlighter. And then for blush, I'm going to take the Patrick Ta Not Too Much blush duo. I like to go in with the cream blush first. I know Patrick has designed it so that the cream goes over the top, but I don't want to bring extra glow. My combination skin is going to bring the glow itself. Just my Smashbox cheek brush, I'm going to set it with the powder. Oh, such a good blush. For lip liner, I'm going to take Lancome Throwing Beige. And then Rabanne Hang Up lipstick. So this is one of the satin ones from them. And then I'm just going to take a touch of this Patrick Ta gloss in the shade She's Expensive and just pop it in the center. Alright, let me go do hair and we will zoom out and see finished look one. Alright, my friends, finished look one. What do you guys think? I think this is really pretty if you like a pink, slightly purple undertone to it look. Like I do think this is very pretty, but I do think there's probably a few of you that will be like, oh no, that's not going to suit my skin tone, that kind of a thing. But if these are your colors, I think this is really pretty. I think it was very easy to use, very easy to put together. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I do like it. I do think it's pretty. I really do. All right, let's go ahead now and do look number 2. Welcome to look number 2. I'm filming this the next day and I am filming this before I start work, so I'm getting ready for my work day. Today I am going to prime my lids with my NARS eye primer. I'm actually going to use the Natasha Denona Glam palette in conjunction with the Roxa palette today because, as I think I've already mentioned it, that you guys wanted to see some looks on how I would incorporate this just personally in my collection, because I mentioned in my review video that I would actually use this with more neutral brown colors. So that's what we're going to do for the next 2 looks, is incorporate other palettes. You don't need to have the exact palettes if you wanted to follow along. Just find any shade in your collection that's like similar. Trust me, it'll do the same thing. I think I'll do a halo eye today. So I'm going to start with my Delium Tools 765 angled brush, and I'm going to go into this one right here from Glam, which is Blend. And this is just basically a cool tone transition shade, really. So just whatever transition tone suits your skin tone is what you could pick if you wanted to follow along. And I'm just going to tap this on the outer and inner corners. I actually haven't used Glam in a hot minute, so I'm very excited to dip back into it and have a play. Just too many eyeshadow palettes, not enough time. I always wish that I had like 6 or like 3 sets of eyes so that I could do like 3 eyeshadow looks a day, to be honest with you. I'm just going to pick up this Rephr 16 going into the exact same shade, and I like to connect my halos a little bit because of my hooded eyes, but you don't have to if you don't wish to. Just do what suits your eye shape. This will probably be a bit of a softer look today, I think. Famous last words, because every time I say that, we know I end up just being full glam. I'll be completely transparent. I am not feeling that inspired by this Roxa palette from Natasha Denona. Like, even this morning I was looking and I was like, okay, what look am I going to do today? I was just kind of like, I feel like I've kind of used the shadows that I want to use in the palette. So yeah, for me, I'm not super vibing, but I really need to stress that's more so just my preference of color story, right? Which is just so my opinion. So like, I totally understand if you're like, oh, I just love it so much, you know, because it's your kind of a color story. That's, you know, we're all different in that sense, right? I'm gonna leave this here for now and go into my Intensify stick from Pat McGrath Labs and just pop a little bit in the center here. I'm just gonna take this Danessa Myricks My Kitco MY24, and I think I'm gonna go into this one. I really want to go into this one though. I'm gonna go into this one. I know I've used it in another look, but I don't think I used it on its own. So this one is Dixie. I just really like Dixie. Dixie's my favorite one out of this whole palette. And I'm gonna start by pressing the most amount of pigment close to the lash line, and then as I go upward, I will get softer with my touch. And it will like fairy dust, but you could do it like a cut crease type halo if you like. To you? Oh, I love this shade. This is so pretty. This shade I could definitely, like, I'll get used out of this shade in terms of like if I was to, because you know how you can take these single shadows out and like mix and match. I could see myself including this in like a palette that I custom design from her shadows. I feel like I'm rambling. Hopefully that makes sense. I just really like this shade. It's so pretty. It kind of reminds me of like a more purple version of the special blue, like not the intense blue shade, but like the special bluey purple shade in Pat McGrath Labs Subliminal Mothership palette. It kind of reminds me a bit like that, like a softer version of that special shade, if you know what I'm talking about. That's so pretty. I really like this shadow. Just taking that angle brush with a little bit more of that blend color. Just gonna marry softly. And you could absolutely keep going and like deepen this up and create it really smoky or like really intensify the shadows, but I want to leave this here because I am liking just that as it is. So you know the deal. I'm going to do the speed through of my base makeup up until bronzer and brows, and then we will come back, finish the eyes and highlight, blush and lips. Let's do it. We have up until bronzer and brows on. I'm going to do eyeliner first. I'm going to take my Hermes eyeliner in Brune Bistre. It's just basically a dark brown. You could obviously like add a wing and stuff if you wanted to. And then I'm going to take Swede Mink Greige for my lower waterline. And then just with my mini Rephr 13, I'm going to go back into this little blend shade and just lightly blend that on the lower lash line. And then for the inner corner, I'll take my Sonia G pencil brush and I'll just take a little bit of this one, which is Stargirl. I really like how that look has turned out actually. That's pretty for this on myself. Just a little bit of my Gucci mascara. For highlight, I'm going to take a little bit of my Say Super Glowy Gel. So I just pop it on the back of my hand with my sponge. And then for cream blush, I'm going to take my Tom Ford Cafe Rose cream blush, just again with my sponge. And then I'm just going to take this one from the new NARS Holiday palette. It's the Light Reflecting Holiday palette with my new Rephr Holiday brush to set that with. They are a good match. And then just a little bit of Mario setting spray. For lips, I'm going to take my Lip Sculpt from Rephr in Taupe. And then I'm going to take Muted Mauve lip cream from Mario. I'm actually just going to also put a little bit of She's Unapologetic from Patrick Tar in the center. This is a lip cream, silky cream. And just a little bit of She's Expensive from Patrick Tar. This is a gloss. Yeah, perfect. All right, let me go fix hair and jewelry and all that, and we will zoom out and see finished look 2. All right, my friends, finished look 2. What do you think? I really love this. I actually really like how this look has turned out. I feel very me and chic and pretty, if I do say so myself. What do you guys think? Obviously, if you wanted to just use the Roxa palette and not incorporate like the Glam palette or a different palette, you could just switch out that brown shade to whichever other shade in the palette that you like. You know, world's your oyster around here. All right, that is look 2. Let me know what you think of it, and let's do the third and final look. Look number 3, and my hair is probably looking a lot darker because I did get it done yesterday in the afternoon after work. So you saw yesterday's work look, and then I went and got my hair done. So it's looking very dark. Today we're going to use I Need a Nude in conjunction with the Roxa palettes. Obviously, you can totally skip this and just use any of the purple shades or reddy pinky shades in here that you would wish to if you don't want to use another palette, or if you don't have I Need a Nude, just any other palette that tickles your fancy will do if you wanted to follow along. I'm going to take my Hourglass eye primer for today. We are having like a heat wave where I live right now. For like 3 days, and it is hot. I am hot. And aircon is like feeling like it's not really doing much, I'll be honest. I'm gonna go Rephr 33 and into this one, which is Stone. And I will start by working this through. Actually, I'm gonna pop this all over the lid as like a one and done type matte, and then fluff through the crease. That's what we're gonna do. Yesterday, in exciting news, my Lisa Eldridge new Rouge lipsticks came in, her holiday release. I am so excited, so I will be filming a review of that after this. I'm very excited. They look absolutely beautiful. Did anyone pick them up? Let me know. Gosh, this shade is beautiful. I love this shade from I Need a Nude. That's why I love this palette. So stunning. Now I'm going to take this Chikuhodo GSM 10 brush, and I'm going to go into a mixture of Tender and this dark brown called Silhouette. So I'm just going to mix them together. And I'm just going to use that to deepen slightly through the crease as well, and the outer corner here. Perfect. Nothing too intense. I'm just getting ready for work as well, if I haven't already said that. Now I am going to take my Pat McGrath Labs Intensifiers and pop that 3/4 over the lid, almost to the outer corner kind of thing. And then just picking up a Sonia G Builder Pro. The first one I'm going to go into is this one right here, which is Concord. And I'm just going to take a really small amount of this, and I'm just going to lightly press a little bit of it in this outer portion here. I gotta be honest, this is the one shade in the palette it's just not my kind of a purple. I don't like these like royal purples like this, but I wanted to just show a little bit of it in a look for you, just in case you wanted to see it. But I'll be honest, it's not one that I would use often. That is pretty though. If you like that kind of a purple, I think you'll really like that. It's quite nice in terms of formula. Nice. And now I'm just going to take Brink right here, this little pink one, with the same brush, and pop that everywhere else we put the intensifiers. Just a little tap. I don't want to do too much. I don't want it to be too opaque, if I'm honest. Just a little bit. The blending and everything look like the mattes might look a little bit messy right now. It all just comes together in the end, trust me. You gotta just trust the process. Okay, back into I Need a Nude, and I'm just gonna take Tender on its own with that Shikahodo brush, and I'll just marry softly here by tapping. And then I'm just gonna take this Smith Cosmetics Fluffy blending brush with a little bit of mesh, and I'll just softly blend through here. And then what I'm going to do is actually do a little smudge with my Hermes Rephr Brushes liner here along the lash line, just a little one. And then just with the smudger on the other side, I'll just smoke it out a little bit and then pop that in the waterline. Which you could obviously skip or do like a full wing if you wanted. As you know, world's your oyster around here. Nice and quick and easy. We're going to leave this here for now and do the speed through of my base makeup up until bronzer and brows. You know the deal by now. And then we'll do lower lash line, highlight and cheeks together. We have up until bronzer and brows on, so we're going to do lower lash line. I did just quickly put the cream Patrick Tar eyeliner in my lower waterline as well. So I'm going to take Stone from I Need a Nude with my mini 13 from Rephr and pop this under here. I really actually like these purples and pinks with these more neutral browns. Much more than like a purple matte or anything. Like for me this is more my vibe, you know. Just a teeny pencil brush with a little bit of Tender, which is this one down here. And then I'm just going to take this one, which is Stargirl from Roxa, with my Sonia G pencil. So I'm just going to pop some of my Patrick Tar mascara on. My Gucci one finally cocked it. We did it. Our eyes are finished. Looking pretty good actually, I'm not mad at that. For highlight today, I'm just going to take the powder highlight from Lancome. So this is the Tint Idol one and it's just in the shade Light with my Smashbox brush. My skin is a bit oily today, so I'm just going to stick to powders. For blush, I'm going to take one of my all-time current faves, Bacon Cakes from Fenty. This is like a creamed powder blush with my Smashbox cheek brush. I love these Fenty blushes. They're so good. I wonder why they haven't come out anywhere outside of like Fenty.com, like the Fenty website and like Sephora and stuff US. Like it hasn't come out in the UK or Australia yet. It's weird, like our Sephora's. But I love them. Definitely worth picking up off the Fenty website directly, if you ask me, if you don't have it on a Sephora near you. And then I'm just going to take some of this One Size Until Dawn setting spray. For lips, I'm actually going to keep it really, really subtle and just go with the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Big Lip Plumpgasm in medium deep shade. I might actually also just put a touch of Superficial from Patrick Tar over the top just to lighten it. Yeah. All right, let me do hair and zoom out and we will wrap this up. All right, my friends, final look. What do you think? Which one was your favorite? Let me know down below. I much prefer using this Roxa palette with other brown palettes. That's just obviously a very personal preference. I just feel more comfortable with a more neutral like matte than a more purple reddy matte or a pinky matte. It's just more, I don't know, I just feel more me, you know? Very much a personal preference. Overall, the quality of this palette is lovely. I think she's done a really good job in terms of quality, don't get me wrong. I just don't personally think there's anything super stand out about this palette. Aside from the color story, even the formulas that are in here with the shades, I don't know, there's just nothing that I like have put on and been like, oh my lord. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do really love this one though, but like, you know, there's her other palettes, there's usually like a couple of shades in there where I'm just like, whoa, she's outdone herself. And I don't feel like that for some reason with this palette. Again, I'm not a massive purple person, so, you know, there's also that kind of context coming into it, but in terms of quality, it is lovely. I personally would only pick this up. I mean, you do you. Everyone's value of a dollar is different and everyone has different preferences. So again, you do you. But my personal opinion is unless you love this entire color story immensely and it's just something that you're like, yes, this is exactly what I was looking for, I just don't think this is a must have. I really don't. I think it's lovely, but it's just, it does feel very same. Like I really, coming into like this third look today, I've used this is like my fourth look overall, including the review. Like I just kind of looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't really want to use you because I feel like I've used all of these colors now and kind of done what I've wanted to do with it. So yeah, I wasn't super excited to come in to play with this today. I felt like I'd kind of gotten my fix of the color story for a bit and can like put it away for a little while now, you know what I mean? Again, personal preference. All right, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know your favorite look. Let me know if you picked the palette up, what you're thinking. I would love to hear from you guys. Hopefully, I know I used other palettes in conjunction with this. Hopefully it doesn't make too many of you upset. Hopefully it was just helpful. And yeah, if you're watching till this point, you know you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. And I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Bye.